You're working forward, what protections and safeguards are you going to have in place for people suffering mental illness who may be looking for MAID? Because, of course, suicidal ideation may just also be a symptom of someone experiencing mental illness.
That's a good question. I think it's clear that if you're thinking about suicide, that this is not a reason to get medical assistance in dying. It's clear in the expert report that that's not what this is about. That we're talking about mental disorders that are evaluated over a much longer period of time with a greater degree of expertise. I want to reassure Canadians that if you're thinking about suicide, you should get help. But the MAID regime is not there for that. That's something else. I don't know if Carolyn, you want to add to that?
Yes, I think the expert panel made it clear that the safeguards in place now are pretty well the same safeguards that would be needed for mental illness because it is not suicide. But what they are recommending is that in the assessor process, that a psychiatrist would be part of any assessment team to make sure that this is indeed because of mental illness and not suicidal ideation.
And just on trying to get the new legislation passed, of course, the House has now risen. It's not coming back until January 30th. That leaves just over a month's time to actually pass this new legislation, negotiate with the other parties. What is this work going to look like over the next few weeks? Because it's a very, very short time until you hit that March deadline.
Yeah, thank you for that question. It's a good question. We have only to negotiate an extension. So the only part of the legislation will be an extension to the coming into effect, or I suppose coming into effect of the regime, or the devolution of the sunset clause. So that's all we're doing here. The regime will come into place at the end of that time period. So we're just seeking to move that time period back. We have begun to have discussions informally. I'm not going to negotiate in the public sphere right now, but we do think that there's widespread support amongst parliamentarians in both houses to move prudently. We've heard Canadians, we've heard our parliamentary colleagues and others, and we think that we can get this done.